Work session. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bozen?
Here.
Mr. Nichols? Mr. Amos?
Here.
Mr. Childs?
Here.
Mr. Greider?
Here.
Ms. Wilder? Here. Mr. Foyce?
Here. Can I get a?
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
motion to approve the minutes of as well as approval of the minutes of the June 20th, 2022 meeting as proposed.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And for our work session today, we have Jessica from Main Street. Welcome.
Hi. This never gets easier and less nerve-wracking. You guys always bring a full house. All right. Well, thank you guys for allowing me the time to talk with you this afternoon, to fill you in on what we've been doing over the past year as part of our professional service agreement. I'm going to start with an overview of who we are and help to remind everyone that we are more than event planners. So our downtown tells a story of who we are, who we were, and how the past has shaped us. It's a place of shared memory where people come together to live, work, and play. We're a community where you can truly do all of these things right in our downtown, in our city center. Main Street Waterloo is working to create a thriving local economy that is rich in character and features inviting public spaces that make residents and visitors feel like they belong. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are a volunteer-driven organization with only 2 paid staff members. We're dedicated to maintaining and enhancing the vitality of our downtown center through historic preservation, economic development, and community engagement. We have a 13 voting member board of directors that is made up of young professionals, business owners, property owners, downtown employees, downtown residents, and people who truly have a passion for our downtown. It's been a really exciting year for us as our meetings have been full of energy and excitement, and this board is really making things happen, and I'm really excited to have them be a part of Main Street Waterloo. So for the numbers I'm about to share in the backs of the packets that I gave you guys, I provided some reports. I don't know if I've ever given you guys hard copies before, so I thought I'd provide them so you know where I'm pulling these numbers from. So Main Street is a nationwide grassroots movement that blends preservation, activation, and coordination to harness the power of character-based economic growth. I touch on this each year, but it's always important to understand that we are part of a bigger effort that's happening across the nation. Main Street America is made up of small towns, mid-sized communities, and urban commercial districts. The thousands of organizations, individuals, volunteers, and local leaders represent the broad diversity that makes this country so unique. Working together, Main Street America Network helps breathe new life into places people call home. The Main Street movement grew out of the recognition that a community is only as strong as its core, as their city center, as its downtown. In 2021, Main Street America programs generated $5.76 billion in local reinvestment, helped more than 6,000 new businesses, facilitated more than 30,000 new jobs, catalyzed rehabilitation of more than 10,000 historic buildings, and leveraged more than 1.4 million volunteer hours. What you see on the PowerPoint and in your packets is cumulative since 1980, so I just wanted to touch on 2021 real quick. All of this work is really showing, on average, for every dollar a Main Street program spends to support their operations, it generates $19.34 of new investment back into the communities. In 1985, the Iowa legislature adopted Main Street America's Main Street approach model and established Main Street Iowa as part of the Iowa Economic Development Authority. Today, Main Street Iowa is recognized as one of the most successful state Main Street programs in the nation. Their team works with 53 communities that have successfully completed a competitive application process and commitment to exceptionally high standards for downtown economic development. Main Street Waterloo has been a Main Street community for 26 years, and over that time, huge strides have been made to bring back the vibrancy of our downtown. This is an effort not only by our organization, but the city, developers, business owners, residents, and visitors as well. Since becoming an accredited Main Street community, $134.4 million of private money has been reinvested into our downtown. We've netted 241 new businesses. I'm including the 3 that have opened so far in 2022, And then I'm excited to share that we know for a fact of 4 more that will be opening before the end of September. This growth has generated 335 net new jobs just in 21 and 2022 in downtown Waterloo. 314 buildings have been rehabilitated, and that's really exciting. One of the huge initiatives and focuses is creating livable place across the country and turning unused space into residential units. And since 2020, 140 new residential units have been added to our downtown, and they are at about 83% occupancy right now, which is absolutely amazing. We've seen more than 90,000 volunteer hours, with over 2,000 of them being so far this year. Thank you to those of you sitting up there who have volunteered and participated in those hours. When you look at the value of volunteer time being $29.95 per hour, that's a value of $66,000 in volunteer time just in the first half of the year. Main Street Waterloo recognizes all of the work and investment that has been done and has worked hard to fly the W and share the stories of the downtown projects, businesses, and stories to help make the community aware of the value of downtown Waterloo and the history it offers. The Main Street approach is a time-tested framework for community-driven comprehensive revitalization. Utilizing the Main Street approach, we're able to create a place of shared prosperity, equal access to opportunity, and inclusive engagement. We work to capitalize on the unique identity and assets and character of our 2 historic commercial districts. The Design Council, as we call them, creates an inviting, inclusive atmosphere, celebrating historic character and fostering accessible, people-centered public spaces. Economic vitality builds a diverse economic base, catalyzes smart new investment, and cultivates a strong entrepreneurship ecosystem. Our promotions markets the district, defining assets, communicates the unique features through storytelling, and supports the buy local experience. And organization builds leadership and strong organizational capacity, ensures broad community engagement, and forges partnerships across sectors. These 4 points, or as we call them in our organization, 4 councils, are working together to articulate a focused, deliberate path that is called the transformation strategy. Through meaningful community engagement and market analysis, these help guide our program's work. As small positive changes start taking place, and as revitalization initiatives consistently meet their goals, public attitude begins to change too. In fact, all of these things needed to strengthen a Main Street district, perhaps one of the most important, is shifting that public attitude about the district from negative to positive. We work with the community to understand their vision for downtown Waterloo. Utilizing the 4-point approach, we then are able to demonstrate qualitative and quantitative outcomes. So I'm going to touch on what each 4 of these councils have done a little bit this year. So again, design supports the community's transformation by enhancing the physical and visual assets of the commercial district. On top of some of the things that we see in the presentation, sign projects, outdoor seating, building rehabilitation projects. They worked on some small things that had an impact, like with Ragbri coming into town last summer after I had my last presentation, painting the bicycle racks at the library to take them from kind of worn down and not so loved looking to get them ready for the bikers to come through, adding some signage to a building and doing a downtown cleanup. The team is beyond thrilled to be working with the city on Veterans Way. They saw the value of the idea and the plan and asked if they could take the lead and really help with some of the projects. So we are definitely partnering with the city and working with them on the Unity Park project and the light pole banners that will hopefully be coming soon. Economic vitality focuses on capital incentives and other economic and financial tools to assist new and existing businesses, catalyze property development, and create a supportive environment for entrepreneurs and innovators that drive local economies. They identify new opportunities for new uses for historic and commercial buildings to stimulate property investment, improvements in art and culture, riverfront, tourism. They're constantly looking to recruit new retail, services, and restaurants. And the team works to strengthen existing businesses through seminars, consultant visits, and et cetera. They are most excited about a project they started this year with hosting our first annual golf tournament to raise money to start a grant program for existing small businesses. Because of that golf tournament, we now have a pot of $6,000 that we can start a grant program for small businesses. We're finalizing the details in the application process. It'll go live probably September, and we'll be able to award our first grant as Main Street before the end of the year. We're looking for other opportunities to continue to fund that and build it up so there's more dollars available for granting, but we're excited that just doing one fundraiser, we were able to get that $6,000 to get it started and help the small businesses. Next up is promotions. This is what most of the community thinks of us as. The Promotions Council positions the downtown as the center of the community and the hub of economic activity while creating a positive image that showcases the community's unique characteristics. Our strategic events bring vibrancy to the district, support businesses, shape perceptions, and make people fall in love again with our downtown. We host more than 20 events every year that span probably 32 days, bringing more than 40,000 people to the downtown to spend their time and have some fun and spend some money. We're not all about events, though. The Promotions Council also works to tell the stories of our businesses. We have 25 retailers, restaurants, services, attractions, and we're proud to showcase that there are a lot of things to do in downtown Waterloo. Organization is the last of the 4 points. So their work involves creating a strong foundation for a sustainable revitalization effort, including cultivating partnerships, community involvement, and resources for the district. The big focus this year is SMID, the Self-Supporting Municipal Improvement District. Having this be the work session about a professional service agreement, I do have requested a separate work session coming up, and then I think August 1st, where we'll talk specifically about SMID. We are moving forward. We've started meetings with property owners to discuss what the SMID looks like, to go over the petition and start gathering signatures. At the August 1st work session, I'll discuss where we are on things, and I will present actual numbers, not just the, hey, we're probably going to ask the city to do something with this. I'll have numbers available, and we can talk through those at that time. And then our organizational priorities. As we look to the future, we are working to find sustainable funding sources like the SMID. The additional funding will allow us to do more projects, develop small business grants, and work to create unity, community, and collaboration in downtown. It's not going to take away from any events that we host. It's just going to make it so Mother Nature doesn't make or break our year. We have invested in a community management system that I've mentioned before. It's called Maestro. This is where we can track our entire building inventory, track new businesses, track employees, track those residential units. And there's city staff that have access to it and have a login so they can see that too. So it's at their fingertips. They don't have to wait for me to get done with an event if they want to find out a number as well. Next up is we're putting a focus on that transformation strategy that I just spoke about. Having our 4 councils work together versus focusing on their silos of what their area of focus is and working together. It'll only make our organization stronger, which will end up making downtown the destination we all want it to be. We have also put together a strategic plan for what we would like to accomplish in the next 2 years. With that strategic plan in place, we'll be able to track our progress in working towards our goals. Things like ensuring downtown is not only a destination, but a place to gather, and working to help those businesses be a part of that destination. The plan was put in place to taking a good look at where we are financially and what our funding strategies are right now, and then we'll reevaluate again when SMID passes. And then finally, continuing to market downtown and Main Street Waterloo, being sure to fly that W, sharing the stories and the successes, engaging the community to want to spend their time in our downtown. The fact that downtown is included in the initiatives of the 2030 community vision shows the desire from the community and a true commitment from you, the city, to breathe new life into downtown. And we look forward to working with the city on projects to power up downtown. Now, our professional service agreement that we look at every year. As Main Street Waterloo Board of Directors planned for our future, we also reviewed the professional service agreement that we have with the city. And after discussions with amongst our board and Mayor Hart, we would like to propose a few changes. I do have a copy of the red line version in your packet so you can see what we're proposing. we're not suggesting any changes other than the date to the actual agreement and changing it from Main Street to Main Street Waterloo. Where our changes would be within that attachment A scope of services. And ultimately what we were looking at with these changes were to make them a little bit more tangible and to make sure that, I lost my train of thought, sorry. Let's see. Make sure that we are clear as to what's expected of us and that we can follow through with what you guys would like to see us do. So I put the couple of items that we made some updates to. One of them was on item C. Let's see what it was. It was make a minimum of 100 business contacts during the period of this contract. I'm not concerned about making 100 business contacts. That happens. There's far more than 100, but it's hard to track that. And then if you guys were to come to us and say, prove it, I can show you my calendar, but that's kind of it. So we were trying to take that number away and have it be a goal and then show you how we're going to make some of those business contacts through business visits, through meetings, through regular business communications and hosting regular downtown business meetings. Another one is D, and it said participate in 12 development projects during the contract period. We're requesting to take that number out only because what if there aren't 12 development projects in a year and it's not really defined what our role is in them? We don't want to step away from anything. We actually want to be more involved in those development projects, but without that clear definition and the chances that there potentially might not be 12 projects in a year, we request that it would be work with the city on downtown development projects. And then finally in section H, very minor, it says economic restructuring. A handful of years ago, Main Street America changed economic restructuring to economic vitality. So we were just trying to clean things up. And then we definitely added in for that economic development part of things that we're going to continue to host the events to bring people to downtown Waterloo to increase that economic impact of what downtown's having on our community. And then, so then to wrap it up, the work we're doing and the story of downtown that we are telling is getting noticed. Waterloo has been featured in presentations by Main Street Iowa at the state level and at the national level. At conferences, I was even asked and honored to present about Waterloo at the national conference. We were featured in multiple presentations at the national conference. And the feedback has been amazing. Waterloo is doing some great things. And they're saying that they're impressed with what is happening. Mayor Hart and Mr. Childs got to meet with a Main Street Iowa coordinator this past week, and she's hearing that as she's out using Waterloo as examples in presentations in other communities as well. So it's definitely something we should all be proud of. And that's not just the work of Main Street, that's the work of everybody, but it's getting noticed what's happening here. We look forward to continuing our work with the city to ensure downtown Waterloo is the place with character and where people feel connected, and that people know it is the place to raise a family, start a business, build community, and forge the future.
Great job.
I think I can breathe now.
I got some comments. Any of you want to ask a question or have comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just make a comment. Good job. I know you said that it's difficult sometimes standing up here, but you do such great work downtown that this should be something that you're happy and excited. And I know you're happy, but
It's the public speaking part.
yeah, don't get nervous because you're doing really good work. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the time and attention that you put into our downtown. Every time I go down there, I have a blast, and I always see you. And not just looking through the glass to see your office. Like, I'm seeing you next to a scooter, or I'm seeing you sitting. Like, I'm always seeing you downtown, being active and being a vital part of that heartbeat down there. So that's appreciated. So thank you, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd like to echo Miss Wilder, where Jessica and Megan are doing phenomenal things downtown. Something that I would like to see is us give them the ability to do more than they're doing. So as we talk about our budgeting process next year, we talk about SMID later, I want to make sure that they are able to really focus on everything with more than just two people, because the amount, when she said do we want to look at her calendar? It scared me a little bit because I don't want to look at Jessica's calendar. So I would love to be able to see them have even more ability to have more people on that staff, maybe an event planner or something. I don't know. I'm not going to determine what they want need, but another person on that staff, and if we can help with that, I think that would really add even more value to an organization that brings so much value to our downtown already. Well, thank you, sis.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Well, great report. Very impressive. Had the fortunate opportunity to be down there this weekend, and you guys did an incredible job, and you really had to do the most with the least, but your volunteers had some big hearts and they stayed late. So I just want to say congratulations for continuing us to move us in the right direction. Good synergy, and downtown is a place that people want to be, and we thank you for your leadership. And this report was probably, no pun intended, but probably one of the best reports that I've seen. And you put so much in the paper, and you explained it to the folks that are looking like, what is Main Street? How does it work? So excellent work. And we want to thank you for your leadership and all your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be back at a later date to maybe talk about SMID and to move from there, right?
I think it's set for August 1st, so
Okay.
I'll be back in just a couple of weeks. And I know there's lots of questions for that one, so I'll become prepared.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion been made with a second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.